What is up, guys? I know it's been a while, but ever since the new season hit, I've been spending a lot of time practicing and learning the new meta, figuring out what works and what doesn't work before I start making some good content for you guys. As you can see on my screen right now, I am currently ranked number 52 on the leaderboards. I've been moving somewhere between the top 10 and the top 100, just trying out a bunch of different teams, and a lot of them do include Aquas. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about double Aquas or Aquas in general and how to use them, because a lot of people have been saying how Aquas are dead ever since the recent patch changes. So before we get started, let's look quickly at the balance changes that occurred to Aquas. First, we got the Anemones, who lost 5 shield each. We got the Risky Fish that lost 5 damage and 10 shield, probably the biggest nerf for the Aquas. You got Showstar that lost 5 damage, which didn't really make much sense to me as to why they did that. And then you got the Goldfish that also lost 5 damage. You got the Nemo that lost 10 damage. And then also the Cuckoo Koi Aqua, very popular backliner for the double Aqua build, has also lost 10 shield. So looking at these changes, there's a lot of significant numbers there. I know at first glance it might not look like a lot, but when you combine a lot of these cards together, it is huge amount of damage lost. And with the new skill change calculations, most of the Aqua's damage output has also been reduced by 2 to 3 damage per card. So if you owned one of these Axies, which was one of the starting builds for the double Aqua build, you got every single one of your cards nerfed. Therefore, it's probably not that strong anymore. Now, a lot of these cards on their own still provides a lot of value to Aquas. Like for example, Nemo, it still gives you the energy boost. I know that the damage has gone down from 30 to 20, which is very significant, but as long as we pair it with other Aqua cards that haven't been touched too much and still have a good source of damage output, I think it's still going to be worth to play it. Same with Risky Fish and the Goldfish as well. In terms of Showstar, that is definitely a card I'm going to be completely staying away from. I don't like the stats on it anyway. It's only 120 total, plus the effect only works when it is the last card to be killing your opponent. So now let's take a look at the current double Aqua team that I have been running, which I feel is a little bit optimized to the current patch and the recent nerfs. Plus, there are some other players in the top 100 who are currently playing some double Aqua builds as well. So this double Aqua team is very similar to the one that I was using in the last version. Apart from the plant, it's almost identically the same exact team. And here's why. The plant at the front, I've replaced the Biden's plant that I was using, mainly because of all the poison teams in the last season. And now with the poison teams being nerfed and pretty much out of the meta, I could replace it with something different. And with the Aquas getting some of their cards damage reduced, I've decided to add a plant in the front that has that firepower that is needed to make up for that loss of damage. So here I have a frontliner with Sirius, Sandal, Beach, and Hotbutt. You can replace the Sandal with Scarab or even Buzz. These are really good back cards that can deal a lot of damage, still very tanky, and it does the job in terms of chipping away at the plant or even just straight up killing the plant. Aqua's main problem has always been getting through the first Axie without having to use too many of their Aqua cards. And my preference here is Beach over Cactus because I am using a bug card, which makes my plant go faster than the opponent's plants because I have lower HP than they do. For that reason, I would like to play the Beach because it makes me much tankier and gives me potential to be able to do more damage and not get my Cactus value taken away from me. So in this build, my mainline Aqua has Sandal, Arco, Nemo, and Risky. The Arco allows me to go faster, which is replacing the Goldfish's purpose. And the Sandal is giving me plenty of bug damage, good at also killing reptiles, plants, and dusk, and also making me very tanky. This actually has a lot of brick wall potential. We see the Risky and Nemos were 2 cards that have been nerfed, but because of the plant and how much firepower it's bringing, it's okay. It completely offsets that. And this Axie with the speed up, its damage and shield, even if my backliner was ever to get picked off by some kind of a backdoor team, which is very popular at the moment, this can still close the game out for us. And my backliner, this is what I call Rapier. It's got the Koi, the Piranha, and the Blue Moon. As you can see, none of these 3 Aqua cards were nerfed in terms of damage or shield, so they are exactly the same, just like last season. And with these cards, I can dish out a lot of damage. The Cuckoo losing 10 shield does make me a little bit more vulnerable against other Aqua teams, but I still have that huge damage potential from this backliner. So replacing the Risky Fish, I now have the Piranha, which has 120 damage and 30 shield, much better stats. I know the effect is not as useful, but just having that firepower is going to be a lot more important than using a card that is nerfed and not really optimal in this Aquas build. So the general idea with the team is just to get the plant to use all of its cards early on before it goes down, just chip away at the enemy plant, store up our cards on our back and our midliner, and then use our midliner to do the job next. You know, get that big shield brick against our opponent, buy time, get energy, while our backliner is preparing with all this firepower, ready to even be able to 2v1 our opponents in a lot of situations, especially with our speed up. Now, this isn't the only way to play a double Aqua build. There is other variations as well. So let's take a look at other Aqua Axies that could be played in double Aquas, or in general, a single Aqua being splashed into a different team. All right, so other options for midline Nemo Aquas that could be very good is a change in the Goldfish for something like a Sponge, which allows us to break harder against our opponent. Because Risky Fish and Goldfish Nemo have been nerfed, we don't really want to have all 3 cards on the same axes if we can. We can even replace the Risky Fish as well with Lamb or Piranha, which have far greater stats. And I know it feels bad to lose the Risky Fish bonus, but it will make up for it later on. As long as the axes are alive, they're going to be able to dish out damage anyway. So Sponge, a very good option now, especially with poison teams seeing a huge decline in the current meta. So some options we have here is Sponge with Little Branch, Dual Blade, Pocky, or Pliers. We can also have these ones with Piranha, Risky Fish, Lamb. Another example I got here, one of my other favorite midline axes currently is the Goldfish, Nemo, Pliers plus Lamb, which gives us more shield. And because Lamb gives us shield and Pliers wants to go first anyway to do damage before you break the enemy's shield, that allows us not to worry about the Risky Fish buff. Now for our backliner, we have a few options as well. If you don't want to play the Cuckoo Koi backliner, you can play it with a Biden's, which is also another really good 0 cost. You got Hero, which is also another potential, but has a little bit less shield. So another option I have over here, if you've decided to play a plant that has a 0 cost at the front line, like for example, Cattail or Biden's, we can play a backliner Koi Aqua that has full 4 damage cards on it. Depending on the bracket that you're playing in, if there's a lot of Terminators, I would recommend the 0 cost backliner. But if you've already gone past the Terminator bracket, then this full 4 card backliner Aqua could do a lot of work. For example, one with Sando, Buzz. We also have Scarab and Risky Beast. Risky Beast might be one of the better versions because it's got the range card. Scarab, kind of the same thing. They got good armor on it as well. And the idea behind it is once your frontliner and midliner dies, there's so much firepower on these axes, and because of Terminators not being that strong and you not having to worry about the 0 cost once, especially you've gone past that point, you can just throw your cards out. You're also mitigating how many of the cards that are balance changed in your build. In here, we're only pretty much playing the Risky Fish, and that's because we're boosting that beast or bug damage card that we're playing along with it and giving ourselves more options against the reptiles, dust, plant, backliners. And I will say at the moment, Oranda might be one of my most favorite Aqua cards in general. 120 damage, 30 shield, horn card, plus it's ranged, so it's not affected by Gravelent whatsoever. Now, there are other Aqua builds too, and even more will arise as the patch goes on. I'm going to be happy to be able to show those teams to you guys as I get more knowledge in the patch. So my final thoughts on the current version and Aquas is that try to play less of the nerfed cards if you can. It's okay to still have one, maybe two in the same Axie, but I wouldn't go as far as playing all of them in the same Axie anymore. I think there's plenty of really good replacements, especially in the Oranda, Piranha, Lamb. We're going to be seeing a lot more of these cards, and I do believe that Sponge is a very underrated card at the moment, and we might be seeing a little bit more of that as well. So if I can get to top 100 playing double Aquas with the current version that I have, I believe that you guys can do it as well. Double Aquas are still good. We just have to pivot a tiny bit. I know some of them have been nerfed, but that's all right. There are still great other options available to us, and it's just a matter of us making that adjustment. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe to our channel. I am looking forward to making plenty of new videos. And if you want to see some gameplay, you can always go over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/1437. And please comment below if you would like to see me actually stream on YouTube or Twitch. I've been thinking about this for some time, so I would like to hear some of your feedback. And I would also like to hear on what other topics that you would like me to cover on this channel. Thank you guys. Bye bye.